welcome back to the ESL Pro League. I'm here at the Xfinity Analyst Desk. We're going to get started pretty soon with the next matchup, which is going to be SK Gaming taking on Luminosity. Before we get to that, though, if you guys want to one day compete against these teams, you guys need to try and make your way through the Mountain Dew League. That is the direct pathway into the professional divisions here at ESEA and ESL Pro League. You can compete in that. You can play against all the players who are eventually going to be, I think it was just a few seasons back, the Luminosity guys were in there, and obviously Rogue, Ghost, and Splice have all made their way through. And also Big, the second place, the runners-up of last season's Mountain Dew League, just placed top 8 at a major. So that's pretty cool. That's a nice little pathway.
It's a great thing to do.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Do you like Mountain Dew?
I do. I think a little too much.
You actually do look like a Mountain Dew drinker. You're definitely a Baja Blast drinker. You're a Code Red.
I'm regular. I'm the regular kind.
Red.
You're a Code Red?
Yeah.
All right.
Like way back in the day, I'd buy those 2 liters and have it right next to my computer and just game out all night. It's a true story. I mean, I
entirely believe that.
I'm not a liar, Jason.
All right. Well, let's get into the matchup. SK versus Luminosity. We touched on it in the pre-show. Like, I mean, as cliche as it is a bit of a David versus Goliath type thing. Here's the SK roster. We know all of these names: Fallen, Coldzera, Fur, the big 3. But then, I mean, obviously Phelps, Taco. These guys are no slouches either. You don't see a whole lot of weaknesses in this lineup.
No. Anyone can step up at any time, and if you want to make some cool plays on Cbble, because they're going to be playing Cbble in map number 1, I'd watch out for Phelps at Long B, and then I'd watch out for Fallen opping A. It's interesting because last season they started using Taco on their secondary op CT side, so Taco's now opping Chicken Coop and Platform. But I'd really keep a watch on Phelps on this map CT side. He makes some pretty funny plays towards Long B. It
was a little bit of a side note. I mean, it was interesting watching that last game on Train that we just saw between CLG and Misfits, and you commented that the Misfits players aggressively in halls. It's, you know, I think it was Eric who was just like, why are they always doing this? And you're just like, well, this is what SK does. You know, Coldzera pushing up, and everyone wants to be like SK with those kind of aggressive plays towards Ivy on Train. Yep.
Yeah, but just weird angles. Like, SK actually does it a little better. But, you know, when SK pushes up, they have smokes and FBs to kind of help them out if they're in a weird situation. In that situation with, I think it was Misfits, they're just standing there, and the FBs or the flashbangs were too late, and they just died.
Yeah, there's a lot of, like, things happen too fast to even allow for communication on the mic, so you kind of have to know what to do before it even happens. Right,
and that's where maybe this next team is going to struggle a little bit, is Luminosity. Not as much experience at the high level of play, but obviously, I mean, you've mentioned, James, you've played them at tournaments on LAN. These very talented players individually. What are we going to expect out of them?
Well, I mean, Cbble's always a good map for Brazilian teams, so they're going to be prepared. Probably going to be a lot of drop control, right? Like, that's what they're going to be banking off of. Usually when you get drop control late round and you have anyone towards A halls, it's going to signal an A split, so we're going to see Fallen trying to retain control of A halls. So if Luminosity has their default and their game plan down, they're going to make sure that SK cannot have any information A halls. Then they'll get drop, and then SK has no idea whether or not there's anyone bottom A or A halls, so they're gonna have to split their defense, and that's gonna be.
It sounds so simple when we just talk about it.
Yeah, you just do that.
That's all you do.
Easy.
You just get the control from Fallen. I mean, it's not a big deal. Take it from him.
Speaking of which, who's going to be the counterpart for Fallen? Who's going to be the opper on the Luminosity side of things that might have to go?
I believe it's Yell.
Yell?
Yell is he's the main opper, and when he's on fire, he can hit his shots. I mean, he can carry the team a lot, but you know, he's a hit and miss sometimes. He gets cold.
He's kind of I don't know if it's the right word, but he seems a little bit petulant.
Okay.
When I met him at LAN, I noticed, like, when I was watching their team play, because I was going to watch them before I played against them, he seemed a little bit like petulance, right? Like, you're kind of like fighting with your teammates, like you kind of sigh.
Okay,
and, like you feel like you're kind of like better, you know, like if somebody else makes a mistake. So I hope he's not doing that this season.
Well, let's check out these Betway odds. We'll see how much petulance.
Yeah. Ooh, look at those.
That didn't actually make any sense whatsoever.
Is that a 6?
Oh, that is massive odds. That is not good if you are a Luminosity.
I might have to bet a P250 sand dune on Luminosity. Come up big.
Just in case. Just for the rare percentage.
Maybe get a souvenir.
Well, let's bring the casters in. I'm sure these guys have a couple P250 sand dunes. Launder strikes me as the kind of guy who would love the P250 skins.
Why do you say that, Moses? Why would he have sand dunes?
I just meant the skins.
Oh.
Yeah. Didn't you just come here from Parting the Seas?
Yeah, I did actually. just down the road. Take it away, boys.
Thank you, Moses. And the gentleman on the desk. That's right. We've got SK. We've got Luminosity. I can't help but feel like this could be a really quick game, Launders. I don't want to count Luminosity out. I am familiar with their two new guys, obviously having covered the MDL season previously. They actually impressed me quite a bit at the last MDL finals in Leicester. They put up a really good fight versus Splice and the other European teams who were there. They definitely know their way around the server. But I think that SK is going to know them best, right? We know that the Brazilian teams like to play together, they like to practice together, and so there should be a lot of knowledge as to what exactly they are going up against. And then you consider SK's performance on Cobblestone last night. Impressive through and through.
That's all true. Now there is always that conversation that comes up about the domestic matchup.
Yep.
And sometimes that's a given. I would say that maybe with why it happens is because for Luminosity, for example, they study SK probably more than any other team in the world. You know, for another team in a different region, for example, let's say G2 is the best team in France. Are they studied by Envious? Well, maybe Envious is more their peer than anything else, but a lesser known team like LDLC. Are they studying G2? Probably a lot more than other teams. The most, maybe not. Maybe they're still studying SK.
Yeah.
So for Luminosity, they're probably studying SK #1 because they're another Brazilian team that's much better than them, has players that have played with them, but also because they are the very best team in the world, and that is always going to be a problem for the guy at the top. The top dog has to deal with that no matter what region they're from. But that's also what's working against them. And the biggest issue is that they're facing the #1 team in the world. So no matter who they are, it's going to be difficult.
Yeah, it's a bit of a rude awakening and rough welcome for Luminosity. I mean, here you go, guys. Enjoy your opportunity to shine in the Pro League. You only have to beat SK. I mean, you know, James and DeBears were talking about
Welcome to invite.
Yeah, the onlys that they needed in order to be successful versus SK. But I mean, we saw Liquid yesterday just struggle so much versus this very same lineup, and justifiably so. I mean, SK were so proactive on their CT side for a map that, you know, multiple times we've mentioned, some will complain about the inability for CTs to get aggressive, the inability for them to make those big plays. My goodness, did SK ever do it last night?
Yeah.
So I can't help but feel like Luminosity will struggle to hold them back in a very similar fashion. One can only imagine that SK are poised, prepared, and ready to get this one underway. But as are we here on the caster's desk. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in as this one's about to get started.
We talked yesterday also as a side conversation off stream just about how you know, creating opportunities is something that you can take into your own hands. And if you feel like you need control on CT side and you've got to get it, well, you can look to SK to kind of show you how you do that, even in a situation on a map where it's not very easy to do.
Phelps is just going to lead this charge out onto the A site. It was a 3-man stack from LG on long, where Fur is able to drop Yell. Showtime looks to split towards this site, but Fur takes him down. Cold finding one and the next. So PKL is all that's left in a 1 versus 4. Looked like LG's setup towards long could have really thrown a wrench in the works, but instead it's SK to throw Luminosity to the ground. So
the value of holding on to long, even if you don't pay any attention to people coming up the ramp, is that if you have a player in door that's rotating in, you have this crossfire from the long plat to door on players that are coming up what I call the fishbowl as they jump up the ramp or either run up the side close to the connector door, and it's a pretty good crossfire. So sometimes you don't even have to play anyone down there. However, for SK, they just ended up blasting players who were crossing into the site, or blasting players who were trying to stop them from crossing into the site. Yell was able to get that first bullet off, but right after that, that long presence got destroyed. And I believe they did send someone late to make sure that they had to divide their tension up between 2 choke points, which is also critical here. Some basic drop control about to be taken as the mollies come down to make sure no one is below them. And for obviously loves just looking for as many kills as possible with this Tech 9, or sorry, Mac 10.
He loves being the money maker. with these SMGs. You're absolutely right. Of course, Taco's the only man with a rifle currently, so he's just going to stay to the back lines. He's actually trying to come in from platform, but Phelps, he gets a Deeg onto the head of, or Cello rather, drops Phelps with that headshot off the Deeg. There's a lot of damage exchange, so it's an easy cleanup for Fallen, and an easy man advantage achieved for SK. Now, things slow down. Nekis sits underneath the windowsill, hoping that someone just comes jumping upwards, but instead he decides to go up, gets that much closer, and then goes straight in. Nice hop, but it's coldzera with a headshot, and Taco looks to take the next. He does, leaving it all on Yell. So there was a moment there where LG looked like they could have maybe caught another 1 or 2 players, and instead SK just punched their way out of that sticky situation.
Yeah, no problem. Taking your time and using a lot of safe options to get map control. So as long as you're not running around throwing nades super late into a round and trying to pick up the slack when you lose an opening frag and you're constantly in this losing battle, it's perfectly okay to throw grenades. So, and the best example of that is top drop. Unless someone boosts and you have someone watching the boost, then you can have someone throw a Molotov down, throw one in the back, and if those guys are boosting, they're going to get burned up as well. And then once you have that safe bit of area, you know that you have a B-split going on. You just need to get a little bit farther, and you get that by having one person escort the other one down, and you just go step by step until you can finally allow yourself as an E-box guy to meet your long B guy to make sure you can trade.
Relatively easy start so far from SK. Of course, they have massive advantages in these 2 rounds. coldzera starts to burn Yell, and then the MAC-10s just come charging in. So SMGs are the name of the game, and they're making some serious cash right now. coldzera could get toppled, but instead he connects the headshot, and that's SK to the 3-0 start.
The way they play these rounds out, it just makes it seem like there's absolutely no reason to not do that every single time. And for me, I don't even know exactly what the best response would be, besides to just stack B and hope that if you don't give away enough of your positions that they do just run right into you. But we have yet to see an opponent really test them in that regard. And they always have the looming threat of not going there at all. Which they do know how to mix it up like any other good team.
Just try to keep up this very rapid pace as they drop right away. Nekis able to take 2 quick kills, Fallen responding with 1, but Showtime holds off on the boulder. And now it's down to the man advantage for LG. Fire, smoke to follow suit and go block off that door. Fallen wins an incredible duel and takes this back to the 2v2. Swapping guns with Fur. Nice on-the-fly play here, allowing for the man with a full HP to try and assert himself.
Fallen is such a beast. He got 3 kills, and he was the first person down drop.
Bomb has been planted.
2 with the MAC-10, and when no noise is made, eventually you'll assume there's a big flank, so it's really just on the merit of the angles that this position becomes good, not the fact that you can catch someone off guard and see Fallen trying to take this fight. He does want it to be a headshot battle, so he will want to peek.
Oh, Yell catches Fur, but Fallen's able to respond, and despite his low health, he needs to find this kill. Yell trying to close the distance, jumping on high, has no case, and he has no head. Fallen, as you said, the first in-off drop and the last man out of the bomb site. An excellent round from him.
Crowd goes wild, wow. Yeah, here, you know, you have to be creative on an angle that only gives you so much to work with, just peeking in and out, and Yell got a little bit choky here. Only needs to do like 1 or 2 damage, but too nice with it. And again, yeah, the most aggressive one, the most expendable one, the one that only had a MAC-10 ends up killing the whole team. Fantastic stuff. A 6th kill leading into this round.
Yeah, starts off already with another 2. Taco's going to deny any back-to-back ace, but this is certainly going to be back-to-back rounds. SK already taking it down to just Showtime, and the show's over. 5-0, very quickly found.
I wonder if you're just happy to get aced by Fallen, you know?
Yeah.
You know, at least you get to make a clip in Pro League. At least you're part of history now.
That's very true. That is very true, Launders.
So many MAC-10 kills, so much money made. And so much in the bank. Luminosity's with their backs against the wall at 0-5 after a series of very, very quick rounds. Nothing has taken very long. Yell is in his comfort zone with his op. They've got forward aggressive positioning at long A. one's here to actually contest them quite yet. It's clear they're trying to make a lot of noise. Seems like there's a concerted effort to just make as much presence as possible here for whatever reason.
Just puffing their chests. SK.
You just flexing.
Oh, but Yell flexes back. Shuts down Fallen. Phelps able to respond with a kill onto Cello. So long A has been lost, but at least Yell's able to retreat towards the safety of the site. Fur looks to creep on in. Doesn't see the guy up high, and instead he dies. 4v3 for LG. They've actually made an opportunity here.
Wide open right now. Yell, 2 kills, 2 very, very important kills. They're really looking like they have a dog in this fight, despite having had just lost a 1v2 to a very low player last round. Taco is without nades. We'll have to either shoot or, oh no.
It's crucial.
Yeah, Yell goes down. A default player is spotted. His options are limited now.
He goes for the flashbang, tries to cross out. Phelps very ambitiously trying to plant, and it works out. Cold able to cover the bomb site and the planter himself, doubling down to the head of Nekes and leaving it on PKL. He does able to find one, but that's it. A 4K for coldzera and a 6th round for SK.
Wow, the 3v5 and coldzera gets 4 kills just like that, all up on the A site, in a position where Phelps had to plant. There were 7 seconds remaining. He could have faked it if he wanted to, but that animation would have put him down to just 4 probably. And yeah, did exactly what he had to do. Just prayed that his teammates had his back, and they were correct about it. Showtime did his best there with that smoke to cause some misdirection, but didn't even have a really good angle to throw that smoke any deeper to really have control of the entire bomb plant zone. Tough spot to be in. Really tough spot for SK though, and they bailed themselves out.
CT's going again for that long A aggression, as seen in the last round. But this time they immediately fall back and attempt to stack the B site, where SK look to entry. Fur already on the drop. coldzera still up top, and everybody just cooling their jets. As Taco finds an opening kill, Fur will double down. So another round here where SK are just making very quick work of these pistols. Oh. Takes one to the face, sits on 3 HP. Showtime tries his best, but his best is not enough. We'll see if PKL can find any further damage. The answer is no. He does damage, but he doesn't take the kill.
Yeah, this is a time where you hit tab and you look at how many kills were had, the amount of money left over, how much the other team has, and you realize that there's no way SK don't have enough for 2, maybe 3 more buys at the end of it. And you got to remember, even after losing rounds, they aren't spending all that much. They can choose how many nades they buy. They're on T side, so they're spending less overall. And the half becomes a lot more daunting.
We're going to find that off rebot in the hands of Yell. And he's positioned towards Matrix right now, hoping that someone comes creeping in that door. Meanwhile, SK are just content to pump the brakes and slow things down, with some utility being thrown towards the B site. Phelps moving forward. Yell gives up his back, and this could cost him as the shots sporadically rain by. Showtime finds an opening frag. PKL wants coldzera, who is going to give chase. Gets himself into the forward spot, tries to find this, but instead he needs to retreat, really playing with his life here.
Somehow 1 HP is able to get away.
Wild.
Imagine if he gets a kill this round.
Bogdan's Law.
In full effect.
PKL doing a good job of controlling platform. Nekes drops the head of Phelps. Here we have it, what looks like a round for Luminosity, and not just a round, but a convincing one at that. Not a single response from SK just yet. Cold with the AWP could find something, but that something will never be enough.
Oh man, all the way in the back. The third person the third target there.
7-1.
man. That was smug. I like that. Oh, love that game. What's the game? Soccer?
Yeah, I think that's what they call it.
Soccer. Tough sledding for Luminosity. 6-round differential. Aggressive play to kick off this one. PKL crouching underneath the long B platform. Will he come around to meet Fallen? It's unclear. It doesn't look like Fallen's getting any more aggressive as well. Going to be aware of the fact there could be chicken. Oh, and PKL off the back of a flash. It both hits him and Fallen, so he was very fortunate to have just seen the back of his body sticking out. This angle for me is so hit or miss. Oh my god.
This is a way to counter the creep.
Oh my god.
The totem pole.
That is just so meta. You know what I mean? Like, frick.
I've never seen that.
I mean, you can at least be happy as Luminosity to know that SK are trying this hard.
Yeah, that's very true.
Right?
I mean, James was discussing this yesterday, how SK are one of these teams that don't take online games lightly. They use it as an opportunity to try new things. They always come in prepared, and that's evidence of it. But Luminosity will not be happy with the fact that they've lost their man advantage down to the 2v3. Again, boosting coming into play as the man goes to the top of the tree, and it pans out yet again. So now it's all on Cello. And he's looking to play SK with a long flank. He gets the headshot first and foremost, down to the 1v2. He's going to get himself close to plat. Frag grenade chipping away at his health, but it's not going to prevent him. He goes in more, able to catch Taco. But there's utility on Fur. He's got himself the kit, and he tries to creep, but Fur takes it, and SK will hard reset Luminosity. Look at this.
Dude, just perfect peek, too. Wow, no chance. No chance. Just saw the shoulder. I had to rethink his whole life. My gosh. Nice attempt from Cello in that 1v3, obviously. I mean, those are headshots. Players who are very low, but those were headshots, so the aim was on point. Luminosity, because of this, are going to put together whatever they can. A couple of players with a good buy. No kits, however. It's easy in the hands of PKL. And off to counterbalance that and Yells.
You can help it feel like Luminosity are unable to control this drop-down play. So consistent has been the utility from SK, just burning it out and forcing the players back. Cello tries to get aggressive versus Fallen, but he takes a shot through the chest, and Phelps is going to creep through Matrix. Does see the retreat of the AWP as Fur doubles down for another 2 quick kills. Luminosity on wobbly legs as Yell and PKL is all that remains. Sure enough, Phelps does die, but it's still SK with a massive advantage.
It's unbelievable how easy these rounds are being made to look from SK. This is a team that's used to destroying people, but is getting completely played right now. The bomb's down in an interesting spot. There is no CT to aggress or try to get control of it, and Cold put in a position where he could get peeked here. Yeah, Yell was very careful about that with his gun barrel sticking it out, had no opportunity.
PKL would love to keep that op moving forward. He's able to catch Cold Zera in the closet.
Nice shot from PKL. Cold Zera's got the best shoulder peeks in the game. Best.
It's a bold statement.
Best.
I like your conviction. So, Luminosity get reset because they lose immediately after that initial win. This next round, they're going to have that AWP moving forward, but obviously not back on full economy just yet. So if you have a single op, assuming that they buy nothing around it, where do you put it, Lars?
I would 100% wait until I see what spawn I have. There's a really good long A spawn, and he gets the worst of So the options here are to go for a more passive boost. This is obviously fall in the readjustment. To go for a more passive boost, and it depends how much money they want to spend on utility. So you can smoke the door in lower A, and it's not uncommon to do, but you have like this big wide area where people cross around that we're actually looking at right now behind this tree and rock and cart that you can go for an opening on. And beyond that, obviously we're here looking at an LG pause as they've got a best 6-round half to look forward to. But likely, what's the prediction? I think this is looking like at 13-2 maybe, based on what we've seen. Utter dominance from SK.
Yeah, I mean, that's a similar scoreline as to what they put up versus Liquid, and I would give the edge to Liquid over LG. So lesser opponent, lesser scoreline, it's all possible. But I do like the fact that we find Luminosity taking a pause here and now. It's not too late to still put up a few rounds onto the scoreboard. And seeing as they're only going to have that one op in this one, it's a bit of a twofer. They get to discuss a couple of rounds off of the back of this. So we see Yell invest into the Zeus, a la Rike, and Nekaz with the double flashbang.
Looks like the ops headed towards B. And yeah, because he doesn't have any early op. Ooh, is that gonna peek? Or is he just playing off sound?
This is the Rike.
Yeah, it is. Uh-oh. Oh, no!
Too many targets to handle. Although Fur is able to handle 2 of his own, smokes off the door and just continues forward where Showtime drops him. But sure enough, Phelps able to trade frag, SK doing it so damn well. Coldzera knows his man in the corner. He does not shy from the fight, flexes on him, cleans up the closet, and leaves PKL all alone. So he tries to take the op towards B. Now he fights in a 1v3. With the CZ, he takes the headshot, and up close is Taco. Crazier things has happened, and he has full health. But the idea of a save is tantalizing at this point. Gets dinked up through the doorway, and as he scatters rounds downrange, he should know better. Move it forward to the next. Minimize your losses.
Taco creeping up his left. Is he gonna knife him? He's going to do it. Sweet, sweet knife.
Plugs him up.
Good night, sweet prince.
This was a missed opportunity.
Who's this guy with party favors?
Oh, the one-man party. Shut down in a blink of the eye. But at least Luminosity bounced back with another buy. They've got a chance here, Launders. They don't have an op, seeing as it was removed. Fallen's going to post up with the cannon, and the entirety of SK post up towards this B site. It is occupied by 3, one of which is flashed. PKL going wide, able to assist Showtime, but it's Showtime to find at least 2 kills. Phelps finding 3. Still has 10 HP. 2 enemies to deal with. Fallen shuts down Cello in his attempted entry in, leaving only Yell left over.
You know, that's a situation where Phelps can't do it by himself. He's got to have his teammates there to die, to make space, to do damage, and he does clean up all those 3 kills. But you can see that like an entry is nothing without his team to do those different tasks. And he makes the best of it for sure. It's really scary for SK because they've got so many good players that can all do that at any one moment. So it's like, which guy do you even kill? Yell gets 1 kill. He knows it. Yeah, he knows it falls out. They can come through the smoke. Oh, and he decides to go in it. Yeah, and actually saves him the gun here. So that's pretty good. We're gonna see Phelps cleaning up on the trades. Doing a great job of supporting his teammates as well. They could have lost a lot more lives in that situation.
Yep, very true.
Luminosity very well set up for a long B hit. Back rectangle, statue, and long B plat.
I mean, they had the initial kills. It was just Phelps had all those trades. At the end of the game, end of the day, that's all you need. Fallen up close already with the op. Oh, gets ripped.
Gets played by Cello.
Taco's going to respond back with a headshot of his own. Yell goes charging through, and it's SK on the kill feed. 2 players left for Luminosity. They shouldn't have a chance in hell. But Cello's got his way into the lower of A, and he's got the Deagle still. M4 now in hand, 2 targets there, both of which survive as SK find 12 rounds to the board. A substantial 11-point lead.
Yeah, and this is unbelievable. They're just so good. Everything they're doing is working. It's just becoming easier and easier. And obviously, at a certain point, it does become a confidence game. Where the game starts out, everybody's hyped up. They're in their own camps, telling each other they're the greatest player to ever do it. They're going to come into this game. They're better than Cole. They're better than Fallen. They're telling Yell he's going to out-op everybody. And then they come into the server. They play a few rounds. Reality sets in. They get out-op. They get clutched on. They get entry'd. coldzera gets 4Ks, and they're like, oh, right.
This is the best team in the world.
Yeah.
Collection of grenades is thrown out towards the platform. We had seen PKL with some success up close here, but he gets peeked on by Fallen. SK, in comparison to the last round, really changing up the speed here.
Still got a bunch of utility, and it's really tough for Luminosity, who have a single flat or single Molotov on the other side of the map. Taco on the corner of a smoke is going to look for a fight. It's actually showtime to get initiated by a flash. Once Taco dodged that flash, he knew that somebody was going to peek off of it, but was unable to win that duel.
So Luminosity showing some shinings of teamwork, but Fur's been able to creep his way in. Yell is quickly executed with a bullet to the brain, and then Fur doubles down for another. Phelps finding Cello, opens up that A site, bombs in tow, and while Nekaz holds off on the lurk, it is going to be the 1v3. Seeing as there's only a single round left to play here, I'd imagine he wants to save. But SK, with nothing to lose, will hunt.
And that's really why drop is the middle of the map, because you can go, first of all, you can go A or B from there, and it's super difficult to control, but yet people fight for it for that reason. And because Fur was able to sneak out, he was able to kill one person coming out of that site, have information on another one, realize that there was going to be a door guy, take an uncommon angle on him, and then be able to say, okay, my teammates can come A even though he hasn't even entered the site, and that's the value of it. Controlling rotator spots can be invaluable sometimes. That guy's going to be up here, and we'll probably have someone to peek him. Yeah, Fur just comes out pre-firing right away. Fully expecting. This is the second time that Yell dies here. Look how Fur takes this fight. He knows that it's coming. Very patient.
Reads Showtime like a book.
A short one. A picture book.
Yeah. No reading at all.
No, didn't even read him. Just looked at him. Looked through him.
See if Luminosity can double their scoreline here in the 15th round of this first half. Welcome to the Pro League.
Important to throw that smoke off the corner of the box where he threw it, because it'll go too wide into long B and leave a crack. Just geometry. I don't think it was PKL last time though, right?
No,
it was like it was Showtime. Okay.
But the fact that they haven't done it for a while, and then the moment there's a player back in that position, you know, assuming that somebody would be in.
Oh my! Was that necessary? Are they just being extra?
I mean, did they even take a break? All this new stuff from SK, the tricks of the trade.
Oh,
fully blind.
It's a flick, dude.
Easy. coldzera, he's in drop down. He gets denied. Nekaz from above will topple at least another SK player. But it's Taco who looks to go barreling into the bomb site. Does get the entry thanks to the flash. Fallen finds Yell. Taco sprays for PKL, and that leaves it all on Nekaz. He too denied as SK take 14. Now, you're all going to have to come back after a very short break in order to see what could be a very short second half. But only time will tell. So we'll see you guys shortly. This is the ESL Pro League. We'll be right back.
ESL Pro League is brought to you in part by Intel, the City of Odense, GeForce GTX, Lenovo Legion, Bedway, Pay Safeguard, Logitech G, Mountain Dew League, Xfinity, and ESEA.
Welcome back, folks. It was a very convincing first half here from SK. 14-1, the scoreline. There were some glimmers of hope, I would say, for Luminosity, but those glimmers were very quickly rubbed out.
It started early. In the first few rounds, there was the ace from Fallen, the 1v2, the Mac-10, the low HP play that he made. coldzera coming up the A site when they had, I think, a 3v5 and was able to get 4 kills. It wasn't a clutch, but it was still an amazing performance. And then beyond that, those were the last 2 opportunities on rifle rounds where they had the opportunity to stop the money early on, maybe force SK to go onto a save, and it was just a slaughter after that. So
yeah, I feel like very similar. What?
coldzera 140 ADR.
Makes it look easy, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, if there's anything to praise from Luminosity, it's that everybody's putting up kills.
Yeah.
But in all seriousness, again, I think there was some chances there for Luminosity that definitely slipped away from them. But I think that those are the moments where the experience and the just experience of SK is going to shine through. Like when you put them into a 3 versus 3 and it's in those min-round situations, they're going to have the confidence and they're going to have the ability to swing those moments back into their favor. I mean, I feel like I didn't see a single round where Luminosity were playing from inside drop-down. Never did they try to block off that initial play from SK. How many times were SK afforded all of that space to use their Molotovs, to use the smoke grenades, and then to throw Fur down below and allow for him to just go to town? I mean, multiple rounds he was able to split into the B site. If he wasn't going into B, he was lurking and cracking open A. It was just convincing through and through, as I'd say we would have expected. But it's not over yet, Wonders. There's still hope.
It kind of is.
You think so?
No, it's not over yet. It's not over just yet. Not literally at this moment.
Okay. Figuratively?
We'll not go there.
Gotcha. 14-1 is the score.
Oop. Oop. If he gets killed, I'm going to feel so bad for him.
Single smoke, double flash for LG. They've got the flank in check. They've got their forces up on A.
They're like, Fallen was peeking this, but maybe he's also flanking.
You just never know.
You never know. You can never be too safe with Fallen.
Fallen could get caught in the open here. But no, he'll fall back. So safety has been found. We hit that minute mark. Bomb's been able to creep its way up A, but I can't help but feel like Fallen has an understanding of this situation.
Yeah. And there isn't anything more special that they can do at this point. Opportunity to get a kill early on long range, they give that up. So now you just kind of set up 2-3, very simple stuff. And it's actually more towards B, so Nekaz is pulling this rotate. They've all got to go move in soon. I'd actually make them do that now. Yeah, the rotate's going to be out. He's getting 3 kills. He's going to get 3. Wow! Holy smokes, that had to be a headshot, too.
We'll see if Cold and Fallen can hold things off. They do have the cross currently set as the bomb comes in. Fallen revealed and dealt with as Nekiz takes another. They wanted to sell the B fake, but instead, he just single-handedly takes the bomb site.
They just took both sites.
Yep.
Yeah, this is sick. So his job is done here. 1 kill, entry on the site, that's going to pull the rotate as far as he can get it. And then, you know, all 3, it's like, there's even the threat that they come back to be in that situation.
I think what's really sick about that 2nd and 3rd kill is that at no point was he pre-aiming where the player peaked. Both of them were responsive flick shots. And that just goes to show his aim is crisp. I'm impressed.
You can tell. What are the odds they get ecoed? Or force-upped, you'd like to call it that.
I don't want to jinx them, so I'll just let SK try their best. Molotov to burn the man out. Flatlined by Nekiz AK. And that leaves 3 players for SK.
Yeah, and this is all you want to use your grenades for, is clearing out spots early on. Trying to get as much free damage, free kills, free information as possible. Then hold on to it after any smokes dissipate. All these really hard to clear close angles. So eliminate threats that way. And then group up, hit a site. I really wouldn't take much longer than this. Posting on things at this point becomes a liability. Someone peeks out with a deagle, gets a kill. Your whole team gets shook. And then everything just falls apart. I've seen it happen too many times. Door smoke from Yell. And simple flash as he leads backwards into A. Doesn't even need to sell too much of a fake. Really doesn't matter if SK go and stack, they should win. Or at least, like, that's the mentality.
Taco's still sitting to the back of the A site. Maybe could find one. Shot goes wide. And his noggin is now popped.
Super clean.
Yeah, I was going to say what could be a flawless conversion point. Showtime finds Fallen. And coldzera will find nothing.
Definitely well done. And it'll be SK to go back to the drawing board on the full eco. Kind of curious. This is, you know, if people run out of eco strats, which is very common, even at the pro level, people run out of things to do on eco rounds. And sometimes there are just so many in one game, you just don't know what to do. So it's always cool to pay attention to other teams, not even just the best team in the world like SK, but just any top team in general, just to get new ideas, because there aren't really like golden strats on rounds where you don't have any pist or any armor at all, but you always want to be doing something as opposed to go dead silent, say like just fan out across the map or not say anything at all and let your teammate do whatever they want. So one flash, a group up, a couple of nades on people who have too much money, a smoke to try to reroute the terrorists into the other site. Something simple like that, whatever you can do.
SK gonna have to hold off on the buys for now. Gonna take another round on the chin. Allow Luminosity into 4. As coldzera's caught in the cross. And that was the only man on the B side, so that bomb could very quickly join forces. CT's realizing this opportunity, just decide to charge. Nobody's able to find kills just yet, despite Showtime on 4 points of health. It's for that reason that both Taco and Phelps wait for their frag, but he's afforded a bit of movement. He gets away to safety.
He's still standing here. He can die.
And he does. So, something given away.
Yeah, there's, you know, just little things. You don't want to die if you don't have to. He spent all that effort just trying to stay behind that wall, have his teammates throw Molotovs to assist him out just so he could save that AK and armor, and then ends up taking the fight on those 2 guys as well. It's like, why do that? Why not just hide behind the rock, let your teammate take the fight? The ADR is not worth the death. The rebuy is a huge expense.
It's all about them stats.
Incorrect.
Purchase from SK Gaming features the AWP on Fallen, a FAMAS on coldzera, and a stark lack of utility.
Yeah, they've actually got no kits either. Tough times. Actually surprised they got an op out of this round. Even, that's pretty good.
See if it has any impact in the outcome.
So it's what a team will do when they get too scared is they'll use too much utility in their default, and then when it comes time to execute, not have much remaining. Here they still have 3 smokes, so it's clear they probably want to use them all at the same time. And are congregating towards B. I think this is great. All you need to do now, group for long, you have control of it, you're posted with an op, you throw a couple of smokes to section out rotators, and then you hit it together with 1 or 2 flashes. Simple. Molly out the spots that are necessary.
Although one of those rotators, coldzera, is already inside the bomb site, so he could be within the smokes themselves. Flash does not connect. The shot of Yell certainly does. And now Phelps fully blinds the next to fall. Cole taking 3, though.
What?
Double headshot off the FAMAS, back to the man advantage. It's LG down to 1 as Showtime's all that's left. Bomb drop, 15 seconds, and he's done. SK 15-4, all thanks to coldzera.
Where is the second headshot? Okay. Yeah. Oh, man.
That spray control's disturbing. With a FAMAS nonetheless.
FAMAS, 25. That was all his bullets. Like, wow, 25 bullets, 3 kills. Worst gun on the server. Half armor, no nades, and he ends up just heroing the round. And it was just played really well by Luminosity. They just quite simply did not trade that 1 kill. I don't even think it was dumb for them to all jump out like that.
Nekus jumps into the fire and the flames. Phelps burns him to a crisp, but Cello's crept his way forward. He'll find the head of Taco. Phelps still inside the smokes, flashes his way through, finds another frag, and they're all blind! SK with big plays time and time again. It's only Showtime. He's down for the count, and as is Luminosity. The moment SK had those guns, they close things quickly. Back-to-back plays here on the B site. Very convincing stuff.
An absolute clinic from SK. Everybody showing up. I mean, even Phelps in that last round, entering the site and also holding it just as well. And I want to see, I don't know if we can get intel on what coldzera's ADR was for that game, but ending the first half with 140, something like that.
Yeah.
And only having 3 more rounds in the whole game. It's up there probably.
I'm also very excited to see our second map. Of course, there is one last game here tonight, but before we get to that match, we are going to have our analysts on the Xfinity desk unpack that last one.
Yes, thank you, boys. 140 ADR at the end of the first half, and I think he was 20-6 for his 20-5 at the end of the first half as well. Like, you can't do anything when 2 players are going off in that fashion, can you?
You got to do something different, that's for sure. Not what Luminosity was doing. You can't do that. It seemed like every angle SK was going for, whatever strat they did, they just outshot their opponents.
Did tactics and strategy even matter in this game at that point?
I mean, I was trying to find something like an opening for how to counter SK. They're so hard to play against and to read. It's pretty unbelievable.
I don't think I've ever gotten a FAMAS triple spray down against 3 AKs in my
pretty
entire
dirty,
life,
wasn't it? Yeah.
Not even against bots.
Well, probably in 1.6.
No, never. I think it's just coldzera.
All right.
But there was strats. That's why
There
SK is
was
so
strats.
good. It's because their strats are just so good. They don't even look like it's an exec. It's just like so fluid. It's it's just so nice.
Well, we have a round you can bring up. I know you guys wanted to point this one out, so take it away. Walk us through kind of what happened.
Okay, so the reason I want to bring up this round, we're not going to see the whole round, but basically SK is going to get A control. And so for the first 5 to 8 rounds of this half, SK makes LG respect A, which requires them to play 2 people at A at all times. And then later on in the half, they actually end up playing 3A from the beginning of the round. But what ends up happening here is super good communication between the bomb carrier, Phelps, and I think it might be Taco who's going to... Oh no, it's coldzera pushing up the left side of the APC. So Phelps is going to stick the bomb plant here, which makes the CT spam the smoke, and coldzera's right there for the trade. He knows that he's going to get covered by the guy in CT spawn for that kill. And there's only 8 seconds left there on the clock. So compare that with the other teams that we've seen losing rounds due to people dying in the act of planting the bomb, right? So all it was some communication, like, let's plan this out. We see a CT smoking on the site, right? We know a guy's there. So what are we going to do about this? If I try and just hope to, to get the bomb plant and hope he doesn't spray me through the smoke, that's a bad plan. So they have a contingency. He's going to cover him from behind the APC.
Yeah. I mean, that's good stuff. I mean, that's just some of those things that you feel like that's like Counter-Strike theory that you can't really execute that in the moment. That's something that they've just, the cohesion of playing together for some time has like actually been worked out about how to play that game. Both of them being aggressive at the same time. Eric, I know you said that's a possibility, always a possibility that LG could win this, but where were the struggles? Well, you both might have said it.
Well, it's just, I guess they're a new team. I'm just going to toss it out there with you know, all these new teams happening, that they have to kind of find what works, what kind of teamwork and stuff, and how, like, okay, I'm going to flash for my teammates. I'm going to peek at this angle at this time. It just, you got to really work every angle of the map. And against a team like SK, you can't leave any I's undotted or T's uncrossed. You know, you literally have to take every position, everything accountable, because they're so good. SK is so good that once you expect one thing, they automatically 2 steps ahead of you do another thing.
Well, and you could see as well, I mean, Fur and Cold Zero were given so much space that they really got on a heater early on in that game. And then, I mean, you guys were mentioning it while we were watching, the way they gained confidence through the first half and through this game, just because they were getting away with everything. And that prompts them to be more aggressive, try and make more plays. I mean, this is all just very, very dangerous situation, dangerous territory to be in if you're Luminosity. Did you as well have a clip picked up?
I did have a clip. So it kind of goes off of what James said, that after a while, Luminosity had to respect the A, you know? So this round, on round 12, later in the match, SK decided to have a B contact explode. So as you see on the radar, Luminosity has 2 people in A, and so less people in B. 5-on-3 situation, straight up exchange kills, and now they have the man advantage, the bomb site, and the plant. So it's SK, they're not playing it round by round, but the whole half, you know? As James said, they worked A, they made them respect A, and then they hit B with 5 people, and, you know, that's 1 extra round up in the board.
Just a couple of chess moves ahead of him, huh?
Yes, I think another detail that made that round so successful for SK is because the round before is when I believe LG got their first round, but it was when I think 2 or less survived, right? So SK knows, they're like, oh, they're gonna buy. Obviously, they want to win this next round, but the buy is gonna be poor.
Yeah.
Right. So let's just go in there and hit him in the mouth.
They won't have the Molotovs to stop that.
Let's just go hit him in the mouth.
Yeah. The uppercut, we like to call that.
They're playing chess while Luminosity's playing checkers.
Well, that was certainly the theme of Game 1. When we return, we're going to do a quick break, and when we come back, it'll be Map 2 between Luminosity and SK Gaming.